Hello friends, and welcome back to r/ProRevenge. We start our video with a short tale of petty revenge, but there's more in the next one. But before we begin, don't forget to subscribe to our channel if you're new here and turn on notifications so you don't miss a new video every single day. Here we go. Father in protective mode. Crossing the street in a crosswalk with my 3-year-old daughter, we had a walk signal. Car turning doesn't see us until the last minute, potentially hitting her. I react immediately and yanked her back to avoid being creamed. The car did manage to stop a few feet short of the crosswalk. For startling my kid and I, my petty revenge was to first kneel down and make sure she was okay, of course staying on my toes for any danger, since we were in the road and all. Then we proceeded to walk really slow, causing him to sit in the middle of the road, blocking traffic going the same direction we were, and wait for us to pass. Completely unapologetic, his hand movements of frustration at making him wait were very satisfying. And our next story. HOA yells at me for training guide dog and grilling, then loses position on board. To start the story, some background you need to know about me. I volunteered to train and raise service dogs. My fiancé says clearly I have a look that says I am weak and a pushover. I have constant encounters with Karens who are just not ready for my responses when they engage me. I've been in the military for 17 years when this happened, and I was responsible for managing over 130 service members. I'm anything but a pushover. I work with civilians, so I have cultivated a polite exterior because I was counseled for looking unapproachable and scary to civilian counterparts. The story. As I said, I raise service animals, so I fall under the ADA when it comes to regulations on where and what I can do with my puppy. We'll call him O. O is an amazingly behaved black lab of 6 months. I've cultivated a level of trust and obedience where I can leave him in a sit with other dogs around so that as long as I'm in eyesight, he'll stay. I have raised a few pups by then and would never have done that with them, but O is amazing, and I can't wait to get him back after his tour of duty helping Mrs. C be independent. I meet the HOA Karen one Saturday. Me and my fiancé and O were going to head on a road trip to visit my fiancé's parents. In our preparation, the last on the list is always getting the kids to use the bathroom before a long road trip. So we head out. O gets busy and I grab a bag to clean it up. I put him on a sit tray and hand the leash to my girl and start walking to the trash can. It's about 100 feet from where he went. I have a clear line of sight to the dog, and he's sitting pretty and alert and watching me intently for a hand cue or voice command. As I'm walking, I hear a womanly screech. I don't quite make it out, but it sounds angry. I ignore it and keep walking to the dumpster to deposit my waste bag and turn around and head back to my 2 favorite people. It's then that I make eye contact with the HOA Karen. Karen from here on out. She's your typical Karen, not an inch over 5 foot and has the same circumference, the short chopped haircut that says, "I'm the manager now." She looks me in the eyes and finally listen to her shrill scream of, "Your dog must be on a leash and in your hand. My county state law says so. I'll call the cops." Now, I don't do ignorant, and respect given is respect earned. I was willing to try and de-escalate. My fiancé owns the condo and is super non-confrontational. So for her, I try to bring it back down to civil levels of discussion. In a polite but firm voice, I ask if she even looked over at the dog before she started yelling at me. She just bellows like a banshee again. I repeat. This back and forth happens 3 or 4 times, me calm, her escalating in pitch and volume. At this point, she hasn't given me respect, so none is required to be given back. I break out my "you done effed up" NCO to junior voice. It's loud, firm, and clearly states, "I'm done with your bullcrap, lady." I clearly tell her if she would have taken 2 seconds to look, she would see the dog is sitting on a leash in someone's hands. She starts bellowing at me, looks and turns a bit red in the face, then musters, "You could just say thank you." To which I curtly reply, "Shut the F up and get out of my face." She waddled quickly off, tail tucked into the condo door. My next meeting with her was when I was grilling. The HOA states no charcoal grills and no smoking/barbecue. I was born in the North, but as a military brat, moved to the South since I was 2. There is a difference between barbecuing and grilling. Barbecue is 12+ hours with coals of hardwood or wood smoking. Grilling is cooking meat on a grill instead of the stove. The HOA put out a reminder, no barbecuing on premises and no coals. So I was like, awesome, get a small propane grill. It's not barbecue, but it's better than nothing. So I was out grilling, and I hear the banshee cry, all too familiar now. Again, she didn't come up to me and talk, she just started screaming. So I looked her right in the eye, and with the same firm voice, shut the F up and go away. If you say one more word, I'll be the one calling the cops for harassment by an HOA member. She sputtered something about no grilling or open flames, and I told her, F off, show me in writing, and by someone other than her. She waddled off. Then I was approached by the HOA president with the HOA bylaws and sat to read them, during which my fiancée started a conversation with them about another issue we were having with them. She was in the middle of having the state's attorney office ask some questions about activities they were trying to force her into paying for. It wasn't going well for the HOA, and she took this opportunity to introduce herself. While she's maybe non-confrontational when it comes to small things, she will stand up for herself when it comes to it. Her introducing herself changed everyone's tone, and they became oh so polite. Karen tried to play the victim to her and say I was mean and could use some manners when engaging with people. She let her paint her tale how she was a victim. When she finished, she looked her dead in the eye and said, you know, I was the one holding the leash, and I was standing right here when he was grilling. So no, you got the same respect you gave. She paled and faded to the back. That's when the president of the HOA stepped in and told me I can't have the grill and that I can be fined and I needed to follow the rules of the HOA or next time he'll be the one calling the cops. Well, President, roger that. It's my job to enforce regulations in the military. I spend hours reading instructions. Nothing pleases me more than when I can shove the black and white in an a-hole's face at work and get my guys what they're owed or force them to do the job right. So you want me to follow the rules? Copy that, buddy. So I began my research. I found a few interesting things. No HOA bylaw can be enforced if it's not in the state database. This particular HOA's bylaws were last updated in 1994. It was 2016. They state they follow my county's fire code, which follows NFPA. Finally, the gem, the exact latitude and longitude coordinates of the HOA's property lines. So I get a login for the state's database and print the HOA's bylaws. I print the NFPA, which states in a multifamily home you can store propane tanks no bigger than 2.7 liters, but they can total no more than 5.4 liters cumulatively. I go to Lowe's, get a rope tape measure and stakes. I pull up Google Maps and mark the HOA boundary line on it. Lo and behold, what do I find? A drainage ditch that is city property not 10 feet from where I was grilling. So I take my coordinates, my stakes, and go carefully mark off that section of city property. Now for the revenge. I call the city/county fire departments and request a permit to grill on said city property. They said go for it. I didn't need a permit. Nobody would care. I insisted and they said it's my $50. They issued an event open flame, so with both permits it was $100, but I got permission from the city to grill there for 6 months. The next day at 0700, I went to set up. I carefully measured so I was at least 3 feet into the city property, set up my cooler with enough meat and beer to grill till doomsday, then waited for the fireworks. Didn't take long for Karen to come screaming at me. I was 10 feet from the community pool and 3 feet from the sidewalk gazebo that led to the pool. I just hit record on my phone and politely told her she has no need to yell as I'm breaking no laws. She kept screaming about no grilling and how she's tired of me and she's going to get me arrested and kicked out if it's the last thing she does. She hasn't liked me since she saw me and has just been wanting to get me kicked out. That now that she knows which condo is mine, it's just a matter of time until she finds something, on and on. I guess me polite and showing zero fear was really pissing her off, so she tried to come take my stuff. Big no-no. As she reached for my cooler, I broke out my NCO voice and told her if she so much as brushed a finger against my property, I would remove the offending body part with force if necessary. This sent her scurrying off again. About 20 minutes later, I see 2 cop cars pull up, and Mr. HOA president himself, he's all chummy with the cops as they approach. I hear him say, "Yep, same guy. I already told him once before he can't grill on the HOA grounds." He comes to a stop about 10 feet from me, and one cop stays with him. The other keeps walking up to me. I have a crap-eating grin on my face. I can hardly wait for the conversation to happen. The cop is slightly off-put by my joyous face and slight giggle when I ask him what seems to be the problem, officer. I get informed that I'm in violation of the bylaws and have been warned once already, and I'm going to receive a ticket for disturbing the peace for threatening the HOA when they were trying to enforce the rules, ticket for an illegal open flame, ticket for illegal storage of flammable substances, on and on. The last was if I didn't pack up, I'd be arrested and removed. Now that he was done, I first handed him my permit from the city to grill. He took it, walked back to the president, and they discussed it for a moment, then returned. Says you can't get a permit from the city to grill on private property. I then showed him the coordinates for the HOA and the Google Maps griddle drawing and my current GPS location. Mind you, I'm smiling, handing sheet after sheet to him because the grid was not all on one sheet and had addendums. It took about 4 minutes to explain it to him. As I was about to hand him more, he held up a hand to stop me. He then asked how long I planned this with a smirk. I told him, about a week. He gave me a look of disbelief, but moved on. He then asked me if I threatened Karen. I just played back the recording to him. At the end, he said, "Nothing seems out of place here. You're free to go." I stopped him and asked if I could file a complaint for HOA harassment through him. He said no, that the city clerk office is the correct place, but he'd document harassment by the two of them and file the report for me. In my state, it's illegal to be harassed by the HOA. It comes with jail of a few months, fines as high as $5,000, and immediate removal from the board, and the possibility of recovery of damages. I settled for them both being removed from the board instead of filing a complaint. I wave to Karen every day I grill, or show her my leash if I had O. Hey guys, thank you all for watching the video. I'll see you in the next one.